Hello, dear friends. I come to you from a rapidly changing place. It's called the media. It influences you in more ways than you can think. I want to give you some insight on what it might look like in the near future.
In terms of influence, it's more about just social interaction. I think that teenagers like to be spoken to. Teenagers like to hear things. Teenagers like to hear it from people who they believe are more superior than themselves. And that's what radio does. It gives people a sense of, here's someone that a lot of people are listening to, so what they say is the gospel or whatever. So it's a good way for people to get a message out if you want to really, really do that. I do believe that radio is gonna hang around for a while. A lot of people saying that, radio is kind of leaving because iPods and iTunes and everything, music is just available when you want it and you can choose your song. On radio it's pretty much just like, you have to wait till your song comes on. But I truly believe that people will keep listening to radio because I like people talking to me while listening. I like a bit of info about the songs, I like competitions, things fun like that. And I think with radio people get that, and they get that interaction that they want and need.
But in other ways, you can't beat television when you want to see what's happening. And radio can describe, and they can be immediate and instant, and there are lots of strengths to radio, but you just can't beat seeing it.
No, you think it's more about the invoking images that TV has?
Sure, when I heard that there was an earthquake in Christchurch, the first thing I did was turn on the TV. When I heard that there was an earthquake and tsunami in Japan, I wanted to see what it looked like.
See the effect and things like that,
Interesting thing about radio though, is they're not dictated by the pictures.
No.
So it's unbiased because, quite often in television, pictures tell stories, but they'll slant the news towards the stories that have the better pictures, where in some respects radio doesn't, and because of that I think radio will always serve a purpose, and you can't drive and watch TV.
Radio probably faces the same challenges as TV in terms of getting that online audience to tune in, but then again, if you are living in Chicago, you can tune into an Auckland radio station, so I think that's a big advantage that you can have with online, is that radio can reach places that maybe aren't as localised. So, for instance, if you're overseas, you might want to tune into radio back home, and you can do that if you're logging in. So I think, probably similar challenges, but online kind of facilitates being able to stay relevant.
I think as times have changed, the media, especially radio, has changed a lot. Back in, for example, our parents' and grandparents' days, things that half of the jokes that people say on radio stations like The Edge or ZM would have been seen as like you would have got fired straight away. More than fired, you wouldn't be allowed on any other radio station. That's how extreme it was back then. And now, since with internet and with TV and with everything like that, people our age are exposed to things like that, so they're becoming more acceptable.
I know for me, working in TV, there's something about the magic of TV and putting things live to air as it happens that you can't get elsewhere. So there's definitely going to be a role for that, and I suppose for people that are maybe in an older generation or people that are used to or having grown up with TV, it's always going to be their preferred kind of medium of choice. So it'll stay relevant, but challenges along the way.
It's the most direct and sort of yet familiar one for like all ages, I suppose.
And pictures will always tell the story. There's the immediacy of information.
True.
With TV you can do a phone interview or get someone up on the line to describe something, but with radio it's probably the fastest. And when you have good radio reporters that can describe and use sound to tell the story, it can almost be more powerful sometimes, because you don't have a picture. You have to think for yourself. It's not just the pictures feeding you the information.
I think television, in terms of its form, is changing. Where we see television, and I think what we're going to see now is the move away from television stations and the move into similar kind of content, but you can pick it up on your phone. You can pick it up on your iPad. You can pick it up anywhere when you want it, where you want it. And I think it's going to become less formalised and I think it'll merge towards the way social media are heading. People want to know. It's not so much about accuracy, it's more about immediacy. They want to know the very latest as it's happening.
Yeah.
And I think that with the tools, with the internet and the way that people are kind of integrated into the content now, that's already started to happen.
I think that TV was probably once the primary media influence on teenagers, but it no longer is.
No.
That, you have online fads where people are planking and, doing the Harlem Shake and that kind of thing. That's not born of television.
No.
That's an online phenomenon. So I think that once again it's become more crowded. TV's competing to be an influence, because if it's not an influence, then it's irrelevant.
No.
I don't know if we've become desensitized. I think the first thing is we have the ability to cover these things more accurately. Now we are live from war zones, and we can get that vision back so immediately. But I think it's much like swearing. Before you couldn't say hell, now you could probably get away with saying shit.
Yeah.
So maybe we are becoming more used to it. Maybe our standards are dropping.
Yeah.
Do you think our standards are dropping?
I think.
I said gentleman's sausage the other day on the weather.
Did you?
Yeah. Do you think that's inappropriate?
Probably for the weather, yes.